Hello, my name is Anthony. I am a professional portrait cinematographer based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been shooting for the past 12 years, Panasonic GH5. When it first was announced, I got it 2 weeks after its release date. And recently, I've been asking myself, what is it like to shoot with a full frame camera? So I had rented out the 1DX Mark III along with a few lenses, the 50mm 1.2 along with the 105 Sigma lens 1.4. So I did a test shoot with that to see how it was and found out that I really love the Canon system.
I am a hybrid shooter, and what that means is I take pictures and video, and I find myself liking both systems, the Canon 1DX and the Lumix Panasonic GH5. They both come with their pros and their cons, such as the 1DX, when switching from photo to video is actually a switch, versus the GH5 actually has a dedicated record button and a dedicated shutter button. That would have been nice to have on the 1DX. I find it easier to use and navigate when in a tight spot and I need to switch from photo to video really fast. Even though, not to say that it doesn't switch efficiently and fast, it just takes a few seconds for it to load up, and then the moment could be gone by the time I'm ready to shoot video on the 1DX. So it's one of those things that's a little inconvenient. And when you're in those spare of the moment situations, you need to be able to move fast, and you need to have your gear move as efficiently as you do. Which brings me back to the Panasonic, even though that's a nice feature. And I also love the fact that it has a flip screen, which the 1DX does not have. It's a fixed screen, and me being a medium-sized guy, sometimes the crowds I'm in are taller than I am, or just the environment I'm in requires a little bit more height. And then I can't always get to a step stool or somewhere I can actually prop myself to get higher. So I find myself having to lift the camera all the way up as high as I can to compensate for that. So I have to rely on the autofocus and hope that I'm able to get the right shot. So what I do, I try as best I can to make sure I have focus on my subject and auto lock it, and just hope for the best as I lift the camera. But the Canon was more than capable of capturing the shot that I needed, versus the Panasonic GH5 and the GH5S. Everything was in focus for me to make sure I got my shot. So that's where the drawbacks come in with the GH5 with the autofocus system, but it's still a little slow. So coming from a Panasonic background or a Micro Four Thirds background, I instantly was able to tell the difference between the layout. The first thing I realized, I was completely thrown off about the setup, the buttons placement. So I had to get to relearn the camera, figure out where everything is, and tweak the settings. It was like relearning how to shoot, because I had to learn the button placement. It was almost like relearning to shoot. I had to learn the button placement. I had to find the ISO, the shutter, the aperture, a few things I had to dig into the menus for. And I'm used to having a dedicated record button on top. The 1DX does not have this. It has a switch that you have to go back and forth to be able to shoot video and pictures.
When you're already familiar with a camera, you have muscle memory, your fingers automatically go to the buttons that you're already familiar with. It could get a little bit tricky. It's definitely like learning how to shoot all over again. And the last point I'm going to touch on about the 1DX Mark III versus the GH5 series, and that's going to be the autofocus. The autofocus is basically trash when it comes to the GH5 series on all spectrums. But dealing with the 1DX Mark III, I was extremely pleasantly surprised on how good the autofocus was. One tap, you're there. It automatically goes to where you want it to go. Sometimes without you even having to tell it, it just works. The 1DX Mark III is capable in any beginner hands. The learning curve, that's the only thing you have to worry about, where the settings are and how to wield it. But besides that, it's a remarkable camera. Not saying the GH series isn't a fantastic camera system, but it's pros and cons. It's one of those things, can I live with it or can I live without it? Well guys, that's been my video for today. I'm glad if you made it this far. I appreciate you. Like, share, and follow. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe, follow, and then I'll have more content I'll make sure to bring out for you guys. And if you have any more talking points or something that you want to know, by all means, write it in the comments.